So I went to meet my friend for her birthday on Friday, and she'd created a little WhatsApp group with her and her sisters and then a couple of other people, some people that she lived with, and that's it. And we were doing karaoke, which I've never done before, so I was looking forward to that. But she also said that we were then going to meet at 6:15 for drinks at this place in Soho. And then she followed it up by saying, I might not be able to make it there at that time because I have work and everything like that, but whoever's around. And I was immediately conscious. I was like, I know I'll get there at 6:15 and nobody will turn up. So I messaged her to qualify. I was like, I could make it for 6:15, but, I don't want to come if nobody else is going to be there. And she said, okay, cool, maybe I'll change the time. But then she didn't say. And then I got into town around 6:30, 6:45, and I messaged saying, I'll go check out the place now. Nobody's probably there yet, but I'll go. And she was like, I changed the booking time to 7:15. So I decided to get her a present of like some American candy and then go to the place. And then nobody showed up for 45 minutes. So I had to sit in this
until 8.
Yeah, I had to sit in this drinks place on my own. Like this really busy, cool margarita bar in like this empty, like a special, like hollowed out dining like nook with all of these first dates and stuff going on, and then this like couple on the table next to me who were looking angrily over that I had this really good table to myself, and the servers like thought it was cute at first, like, oh, you're here on your own. After 45 minutes, it was just incredibly awkward because they had just wasted a table. And then eventually my friends came, and we did the karaoke, which was a very interesting experience because I don't understand why people find it really fun. Like it was really fun to see my friends having fun, but you just have to like stand in the front of the room and perform to each other, which I thought like it's just so embarrassing. And then afterwards, I got on the car Uber with her sisters because we were going to go hang out at her sister's flat, and the others were hanging back behind. I got to her sister's flat, and my friend never turned up because she got caught up doing something. But then her younger sister fell asleep on the sofa. Her older sister, who's lovely but sensible, kind of was looking at me like, okay, maybe you should go. So then I had to travel all the way back from this other side of London. I'm alone waiting for my friend.
Oh my God.
It was a really deflating experience, and I think recently I've worried that like I don't go out and see my friends and stuff enough, or like I don't put myself out there. And this was just like, it's fine to not go out all the time, because sometimes it does not go as you planned.
Yeah, that sounds horrific. I also hate karaoke. I think that everyone who does karaoke, who likes it, is just because they want to sing.
Yeah, I know, that's kind of the impression I got. I think if you get to do creative stuff in your everyday life, I don't think that you need to do something like karaoke, but maybe if you have an office job or something a bit more corporate, it's like a bit more of a letting off steam type of thing.
They just want an excuse to sing Adele. Have you listened to Adele's new song? Easy on Me.
Really good.
I don't think it is.
Well, I've listened to a version of it that's slightly different, but I thought that it was quite good.
I just find it slightly strange. I find the whole like, because it's only one song, isn't it? And then the Instagram video she did of her singing along. I found it so embarrassing.
Vocal
Alfie
talent.
ruined it for me. He just ruined it for me with his show. You know, when he sang, he would just screech. Was it hello?
Yeah.
Hello into the audience. Hello from the other side.
Oh my God. Yeah,
he would
yeah.
scream it into the audience to kind of make a joke about the fact that at Glastonbury, was it Glastonbury? She was really off key. And that,
Oh my God, yeah, I remember that joke. I remember that joke.
And the problem is everyone loves Adele.
Everyone loves Adele. That's what makes her such an interesting cultural figure.
Loves her.
She's like such a character in pop culture. Really.
Yeah. And the truth is, I'm probably just jealous.
Of course.
I'm
we're
jealous
all
that
jealous
she's
of
like
Adele.
She must be a billionaire.
Of course.
Yeah. So she's a billionaire who now looks amazing.
And I think I'm also slightly jealous of the fact that she gets to live pretty much outside of the public eye, because she established herself before social media was so much of a thing. She became super successful, doesn't need social media. But then whenever she decides to dip her toe back in because she's got a song to release, it's like she's the most important person
People
in
were
the universe.
even saying that on the buildings. Did you see that? That in the city, there was a few numbers dotted around on, like projected onto the side of skyscrapers.
Really?
And a week before her album or her single drop, they were saying, is this a hint that Adele's next album is going to be called 30? And it wasn't. I don't think it was. I don't have COVID, don't worry. But yeah, I found it really funny. Also, Gunther died.
No.
Gunther died.
From Friends?
Yeah, he died died yesterday morning. And I saw it first thing in the morning on the news. And Margot looked over at my iPad and she said, "What? Oh, there's Gunther." Because I let them watch Friends. And I know I shouldn't, but I do. And yeah.
That's so
So
sad.
sad.
How did he die?
Stage 4 prostate cancer.
That's so awful.
It's really sad. He didn't have a line for 33 episodes. And then obviously because he was just, sweet, he got...
That's the merits of hanging on in there, isn't it?
Exactly.
That's the merits
we can
of
all
hanging
learn
on in
from
there.
Gunther.
We really can all learn from Gunther. Do you know what I mean? Make yourself just absolutely necessary to the people around you.
I do think if you do hang on in there, eventually something good happens.
I think so.
Loyalty does pay off in the end.
Doesn't work quite so well with like men. If you hang around in there,
Loyalty.
They're gonna find you annoying eventually if you just keep hanging around on in there. If
I
they
don't
don't
know
want
about
you there.
that.
If they don't want you there.
If they don't want you there, but maybe as you grow older, if you do hang on in there and just show that you're loyal and you still love them and you're gonna wear, maybe it does pay off eventually.
Maybe. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Finding out.
I just, in the future, maybe it's nice to think about.
Are you Jessie's not feeling very well today?
I'm not feeling very well. I'm sick. No one ever believes me when I'm sick. No.
fully
Genuinely,
believe you.
I never get the sympathy I deserve when I'm sick from anyone. You maybe do, but it's like,
I
Alfie,
said so many times, I was like, I'm so sorry, oh my god.
Alfie literally doesn't ever believe me. It's because I'm so efficient and I do so much. Like, so even, and so, but I'm really struggling to do it.
Yeah. And it's because you look so healthy all the time and because you're so capable. Other people when they're sick are like, poor me, lying down in bed. You don't really have that option because of the kids and everything like that. So I'm sorry that you feel no one believes
I
you.
feel so bad. I don't have COVID though. I kind of I don't want to have COVID, but it would be nice if I had, like a legit
something
excuse
that you could put it to instead of just like a wintertime illness.
Yeah.
Which sucks. Totally sucks. I'm so sorry
No,
about
it's
that.
fine. I just think it's really funny that Alfie just doesn't give a shit. He really doesn't. I keep saying, no, I do feel really sick. I really didn't see last night. Well, he said you wanted 3 kids. So you wanted 3 kids. So, but I think part of this is because you got 3 kids. It's like, no, it's because I'm sick.
That's very...
Every single thing comes down to, but you wanted 3 kids. Which is true. So I don't have a leg to stand on.
Yeah, no, I know. I mean, that is like a really good punchline that he has, but he also has to remember that he also has 3 kids too, so...
Yes, I know, but if he had a choice, he loves them and he's incredibly, he loves being a dad, but, I was the one petitioning here for the
But
children.
he can't throw the "you wanted 3 kids" line in whenever he wants. I feel like you get...
I think he says it once a day.
I think that you get a maximum of like, you can say that like 5 times a month, and then he's done. That's his quota. Probably less than that.
It's probably genuinely up to 5 times a day. Like the other day, we had just sat down for dinner, and I was starting to feel sick, and I tended a poo, and I didn't want to move, and I said, you should probably, because I can't move, you should probably change the nappy, and he just didn't. He said that, and I remember so clearly when I was pregnant. I was around 6 months pregnant, and he just said, I was serious when I said I'm not going to change a nappy. I was serious, and I said, yeah, I know, but you probably will, won't you? Probably will. And he has changed a nappy, to be fair to him, and he's very, very good with baby. But he's stuck to it. He's really stuck to it in quite a lot of areas. I'm not painting a very good picture, but
No, I know. Oh my god, people are going to be in the comments furious about like Alfie being a terrible example.
It's quite a feminist thing. I know what I was doing. I knew what I signed up for.
If you set out certain conditions or an agreement, the fact that he's sticking to his side of it whilst also being a good father as well in other ways, but maybe just doesn't like to change nappies, then if every choice that a feminist makes is a feminist choice, then that's very empowering.
It makes you claim little victories. So like when he does change a nappy or he does do something which is just like so lovely for them, I do always think, oh, he didn't. That's a bonus.
But then again, that you could equate that to like the unfair credit that men get for doing any childcare because of like the unspoken emotional labour, and that women are just assumed to have to take on all of those responsibilities. If he's categorically said that I'm not doing those responsibilities, that is interesting to take into account. But like, it's crazy that when men do a tiny little thing, you're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
God, oh my God.
Honestly, anytime Ten hugs him, and he loves him so much, I almost cry with happiness, just because it's just it's so penetrating when Alfie holds him. You can see how much Alfie loves him, and it is like I've cheated somehow.
You've brainwashed, or like you've swindled somebody's emotions that way. Yeah. Like a love thief.
Yeah. Because so many people have said to me, oh, I really want another one, but my husband or my boyfriend doesn't want another one. And that's it. That's like
the end of a conversation.
Yeah, the end. And I'm always like, oh, sorry. But also, you can say to them, they don't have to ever change nappy. Or you can say to them, they don't have to do anything. And then you can trick them into loving the baby. But you can't really say that to someone you don't really know very well.
Yeah, you have to say to that somebody who's on a level like you guys. I don't know. I think that he wouldn't actually have 3 kids if he truly didn't want to have 3 kids. No, he's definitely a deep source of love and somebody that wants big families deep down in there. Because otherwise, it wouldn't have happened. Yeah. Like he's obviously been resistant to it at points and like thrown the.
Not really resistant at all. Actually, I mean, like really he can claim he's resistant. I mean, it's been quite a quick turnaround. I think that he's fine with it now.
Definitely.
And he is good. Yeah. I had to be so careful because when I did this event the other day, I definitely was really talking a lot about kids and saying, because somebody asked me about grief and stuff and how I said, because at the end of sunset, there's like a, light at the end of the tunnel. And she was like, how did you find light at the end of the tunnel? As if I had found it. Or I didn't want to say, I have not found it. But, so I kind of just joked and said, having a baby has been a huge light at the end of the tunnel for me. And I feel really guilty because it's like, some people can't have children. Some people, it's just something they want so much and then they can't have it. So I kind of felt so bad for just saying, oh, this is my cure-all to have a baby. But it has been.
If you're allowed to be honest about what's worked for you. And I feel like even though that is not the case for everyone, there's a large group of people that would be something that would like really impact their life in a positive way.
So, you're not meant to say that either. You're not meant to say, oh, have a baby, it will cure your sadness.
Yeah, you can't say that. But if that's how, you're allowed to give that advice and hope that like-minded people might take it. Not everybody is gonna agree with that, but they can't get angry at you for just expressing your opinion.
I know, but some people, lots of times when I have said things like this, if you therapy me, some people could argue, well, you've just had kids to put a plaster on your pain and you're not really confronting it. And it is true. So this morning we had, mini fights because we hadn't been explicit about the time we were going to meet. And it is partly because I now panic, honestly almost have a panic attack when I have a spare half hour, even 15 minutes. I know. I cannot bear it because it makes me suddenly, when I don't have the kids with me, and I have this time that's meant to be just mine, it's either got to be full of either going exercising, working, doing something productive, doing a podcast, something. If it's just me on my own, I know. It's like I've been sent to prison.
I know. I
cannot bear it. And so when I was in Serbia recently, I had this time. I took a whole suitcase of pencils, felt, scissors, hobbies to fill crafts to fill this time because I was like, I've got these 3 days. What am I going to do? And it's just, I now realise, it's because
you're scared of being on your own.
Can't be it. So I'm so probably further behind than you in certain areas because you've had time to sit with things and to be on your own.
Sure. I feel like it's just so interesting the ways that it's affected us differently. You having to be a mother and look after young children whilst a part of yourself has been shattered. That is it's more mature and more crazy grown up than I can ever imagine. I'm so glad that the only person I had to worry about was myself and I got to be self-indulgent and I got to look after myself. But you're right, I'm fine with being on my own. I've got a lot better at being able to compartmentalize thoughts about it and stuff like that. Because you've had less time on your own, I'm sure that those things creep up on you easier when you are on your own because you're just not as used to it as I am.
Well, I completely disagree. I think that I've had the easier route. I've had the much easier circumstance. Obviously, it was horrendous to have to, get up the next day and stuff with a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
No, 3-year-old and a 4-year-old. 2-year-old and a 4-year-old.
2 and 4, yeah.
Yeah. But at the same time, I had constant distractions.
Sure.
So it's only becoming apparent now that I do have a little bit more time, and it's just terrifying.
Yeah.
I find it terrifying. So I have newfound respect in a way for you and
That's
how you
nice.
can sit on your own, and our mum too. Like suddenly I'm like, whenever I think of her on her own, or even you on your own, I think, oh God, because I think of myself and how I handle things.
I completely get that, and I used to feel exactly that way about our mum too. But it's like what grief is horrible is that it kind of robs you of your relationship with your close family members, because instead of just being able to interact with them like normal people, you worry about them constantly. You see them in a vulnerable way. You see your mother as like a smaller figure than she was. I see you as like a smaller, but I mean, maybe it is time. I never thought that it would get easier, and it hasn't in so many ways. But I think that now we're 2 years on, and we've had time to process, and we've like moved on with our lives in small little ways. I am starting to be able to see her as just a person now that can be on her own, and you as a person that can be on your own. And that's,
but it doesn't.
I'm so grateful for that, because I hated the feeling like I didn't have that same relationship with any of you.
Yeah, it did totally transform everything.
And it's come back a little bit now, which is
But also
great.
The luxury of being selfish.
Yeah.
That's almost taken away, because you suddenly are worrying about everybody.
Totally.
So when you do have that time on your own, so like when I, was in Serbia in this hotel room, like, what am I going to do now? It's hard for me to accept that it's okay to be on my own and to be okay.
Yeah.
That's really hard to accept, because if I'm gonna be now thinking about it, I should be like wailing and crying and like stuff like that. So it's really weird to have those moments where you're like, no, I actually am. I feel okay.
Totally.
That's really a new,
a new sensation. But it's part of the reason why then I struggle with, like, when I was sitting alone at this margarita bar for 45 minutes. Not only like plus the extra half an hour or something from when like I didn't know that she had changed the booking and stuff, and it was nice because I actually bumped into a couple of girls that were fans of the podcast.
No way.
Yeah, it was so sweet. One of these girls was on the train station.
She must have looked like such a loser.
It was so good. It's so shitty to go from such a feeling of like, oh yeah, oh okay, I've been recognised from the fucking podcast, to I'm the biggest loser in the world and I don't have a job, so that's why everyone's like, because they all have jobs. Anyway, this girl was listening to it, listened to the podcast, bumped into me on the train, and she held up the phone to me and was like, ah! It was
That's
so funny.
nice.
And I didn't know what she was doing at first, and then I was like, oh, hi. So we had a little chat. She was called Rachel. She was really, really sweet. And then when I was walking to go get the sweets for my friends, I met these lovely pair of sisters. And one of them was like a particularly big fan, and we took the photos together. And it was so sweet. And it was just, that was a really nice warm feeling, and I was like, wow, like that's so nice that the podcast has reached people and it's reached a pair of sisters, and that makes me feel good about what I'm doing. And then sitting in the margarita restaurant, like I felt shrunk, like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Honey, I Shrunk the Baby.
He's
like,
also died.
no,
Yes.
don't say that.
No, so do you remember they did a Disney series of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids? They did a series of it on Disney Channel with the guy who played Lena Dunham's dad in Girls. Yeah, he's died.
Oh my god, I did see on Lena Lamb's Instagram.
Because that was part of my childhood too. Sorry to bring it down with the death stuff. Sitting in the margarita bar on your own. So do you now feel, and then also relating this to auditions and general work rejection stuff. So now I feel, again, annoyed at grief, because I can't sit in a margarita bar on my own waiting for friends who haven't turned up, or be hanging on for a part for weeks and weeks and weeks, or be waiting to hear yes or no about something that's going to be developed or not for TV, or like, I can't now get normal little life upsets that we would have had before without blaming Ben.
And in part, exactly, because when I was sitting there feeling like such a fucking loser, and it's so sweet because my friend, the one that invited me, is that kind of person who like is so beautifully like messy and late for things, but you can't get annoyed at her because you know that it's not intentional, and she apologizes so nicely. But before that happened, and I was sitting there on my own, not only did I feel like a loser because it's like, oh my god, I'm there, like I'm clearly the only one with nowhere to be, so whatever, but I was also like, this isn't what I should be doing. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel already like I'm so shit at socializing, and like everyone else my age is having fun, and here I am sitting alone in a margarita bar, like, because everybody is out doing more exciting things than me. But I also felt like the pressure of knowing that somebody you love died young, and that just like life can just stop like that. It makes you feel so bad about wasting an hour like on a Friday night. Not that I don't have fun and not that I don't do nice things, but it just makes you overthink. And I was sitting there like, what the fuck am I doing? What the fuck am I doing? This is, God, he would be so annoyed at me for doing this and feeling bad about myself and feeling like a loser, but I can't help it. It's like, it just makes you totally overthink everything.
I know, and when people do shitty stuff to me or us, I'm like, do you know what happened?
Yeah, exactly.
How dare you?
Exactly.
Because if something had happened like that to them, I would be like pussyfooting around them.
Sure.
I would never be late for them.
Yeah.
I would never not reply to a text or something like that. So I always so everything has changed. Every single situation now has a different meaning and perspective. And the same thing with work. It's kind of the good things happening seems implausible. Mm-hmm. Because the worst things happen. So the idea that you can get a part, which other actresses would be like, I deserve that. That should be coming my way. It's something that's almost like I'm hitting away with a tennis racket, being like, no, that's not for me anymore. You know, I just can't imagine now things being either easy or
justified or everything is twisted. Like I still feel that like life is capable of happiness and giving you good things, and that hard work can pay off and stuff like that. But there's like this underlying fear underneath everything. It's why my emotions change so quickly. It's like why, you know, I went from having a great day on Friday and feeling really good and positive about stuff and feeling so warmed by these people that listen to the podcast, to then within 2 minutes just feeling like this is just what a sham that I thought that things were going well for me. This is just obvious that it's not going so well. And it's this that the quickness that can change, I feel like has to come from this underlying sense that it's not going to be all right because something so awful did happen. You just, the second that something goes a little bit bad, you're like, oh my God, it's all going to go bad.
I genuinely live each day like I'm ready to be tricked. I'm ready to find out that I've been played.
Yeah.
Like this is a constant punk.
This has all been a big old episode of Jackass. No, that's not the right show, is it?
I could never. It was my favourite show, and I still feel embarrassed saying it.
Oh
I can't say
yeah.
it, Jackass. Oh my God, Bam Margera. He's not aged well, but he has a son called Phoenix, which is a very good name.
We love that. That's nice.
Ryan Dunn died. Ryan Dunn died.
We can't. No, we can't. It's too sad to hear all of these like iconic TV legends.
Johnny Knoxville. Oh my God, I used to fantasize about Johnny Knoxville. I love him, and he had his daughter's name tattooed on his chest, Madison.
That's really cool.
It's really cool.
That's really,
and that
really
was before tattoos were, really fucking cool.
Definitely.
Well, tattoos have always been cool, but you know how everyone has a tattoo now.
Yeah. Oh, I saw a lady on the tube with a tattoo of a big old spider on her neck. I was like, who hurt you? Honestly, like, why are you trying to scare people?
Maybe she just loves Spider-Man. She thinks
maybe
she's got superpowers.
Maybe. Do you know, one of the questions that we got asked is, do you identify as feminist? I was like, obviously we both do.
Just pushed about Adele.
How funny that people need to ask us that. God, we must give off the impression that we're like, just, I don't even know. Quite strange.
This is really controversial, but somebody once messaged me asking me to go on their quite famous feminist podcast. And at the time, I was just stupid and uneducated and stuff, and I genuinely just got the message, and I think I sent a reply within 1 minute, so I had not thought about it. And I replied, she was like, hey Jessie, do you want to come on our podcast? Do you identify as a feminist? And I replied, not really. I don't think I identify as a podcast.
As a feminist?
I don't think I identify.
Oh my God, that would be the most 2021 thing for somebody to be like, I actually identify as a podcast. I'm informative to my friends and family, and that's all I am.
Well, I didn't say that, thank God. I was like, hey, I don't think I identify as a feminist, but yeah, I'd love to come on. No response.
Oh my God, that is.
And now I realise it's
so
because
funny.
It's so offensive for me to say, after everything that women do and have fought for, that I don't identify as one. But at the time,
you didn't understand what the implications of that were. Yeah, exactly.
Of course I'm a feminist. I live as a feminist. I don't make Alfie do anything because capable of doing it myself.
Sure.
I don't think I'm going to get
Sure.
married. I have 3 kids. I work. We have such a strong mother figure,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, I'm vain. I just bitched about Adele. And
We've obviously said some things that
could not be.
well, like inflammatory to this idea that like in order to be a perfect feminist that you can't criticize women. I think women are just as capable of being fucking bitches, if I'm being honest. But I think that is true feminism.
Mm-hmm.
We're fighting for equality, aren't we, with everyone in the world, and therefore, for things to be truly equal, you got to bitch about everyone. I'm sorry.
And
I'm
I think
sorry.
at the time,
Adele included.
I didn't realise that the famous it was the Guilty Feminist podcast.
I can't believe she did this one. That's so funny. That's so funny. Oh my god, what year was that?
It was maybe like 4 years ago.
Love
5 years
that.
ago, 4
That's
years
juicy goss.
I now realise that the podcast is so up our alleys.
Yeah.
With what they say, I'm a feminist, but I also bitch about Adele or whatever.
Yeah. I thought maybe it'd be fun if we could just take a little look at some of these questions. And most of them were about creative work, being sort of freelance. A lot of people asking how to get into acting.
We have no advice about how to
None
get into acting.
at all. None
so
advice.
Please stop asking.
There's no.
We are not role models.
Exactly. I mean, come on. Especially since one guy was like, "Do you have any plans to ever be on TV again?" It's like, that's a bit of a head scratcher. No, I think I've decided to never actually get any acting work ever again in my life. That was my plan.
It's a horrible industry. Stay away from it.
Yeah,
that's all we want to say.
It's a very brutal. You get brutalized out here, okay? That's why you got to do podcasts.
It's fun when you're doing it, but you don't do it very much. And I think unless there's I can now see 15 years later, there has been a few parts which I was the right person for, and I was lucky to get them, but they are very few and far between.
Yeah, and there are so many people who do acting. It's always something really important to remember.
So many production companies too, so many producers, so many directors.
It's
We're
like
all fighting for a spot.
It's not to say it's oversaturated. Therefore, don't join. Not at all. I mean, not unless
Stay
you
out.
Get one of my
just
podcasts.
don't even try, please.
I lost my younger brother 2.5 years ago, so I feel a lot of comfort listening to yours and Jessie's podcast. I'm just wondering what you do on bad grief days to make yourself feel better. I do a few things, but I would like to hear your take too. We don't have to answer.
No. Well, what do you think?
I have no idea.
Yeah,
no
I don't.
idea.
I don't have anything to make myself feel better. But I mean, obviously, because of the kids, it means that there's nothing I can do about it. It's just so shit.
You just breathe through it and breathe through it. Oh my god, that sounds so pretentious. I'm not Gwyneth Paltrow, but I think that you accept that it's going to take as long as it takes, and then you slowly start to feel better. There's certainly not a set activity I do to make that easier.
I was actually having this conversation with our mum yesterday, because I said something along the lines of, well, it's just ruined now, isn't it? Everything is ruined. And she was like, yeah. And that almost makes me feel better, because once you accept that everything is kind of ruined, all you can do is make the best of what you still have.
Totally.
And I definitely do live like that.
Yeah.
I do live each day thinking, this is hell. This is absolute hell. And yeah.
So basically, just accepting there's not a thing that you can do to make it better. Maybe that's the thing.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything I do to make it feel better.
Another question.
A happy question.
Yay! Another question is, any advice for a broken heart?
The thing is, before Ben, the closest I got to grief was having a broken heart. Mm-hmm. And I remember when I was in Bristol filming Trolleyed, and me and Alfie were broken up, and I found out for the first time that he had fucked all these other women while we were broken up, so he hadn't cheated on me. But technically, it felt like he had cheated on me, because I genuinely thought that we were going to get back together any day, and I still felt that we were together. I remember hyperventilating, and my heart actually hurt, and I felt nauseous the entire time. And that is almost exactly how I feel with grief.
So how did you make yourself feel better with the broken heart then?
I didn't. I didn't. How do people? I just find it so funny when you watch Friends and you see them with, Haagen-Dazs.
Yeah, which is so cheesy, isn't it?
It just, that's not what
Ice
happens.
cream would not be the thing I reach for anyway. It would obviously be a jumbo pack of Quavers.
But even that doesn't make you feel bad. I mean, I guess the crunching and the in and out.
Having something to do.
So
that
crisps.
That makes me want ice
Crisps
cream now.
is the answer.
Crisps would be the answer, but maybe also a bit of ice cream as well, like just to finish it off. Like sometimes that could be nice.
When was the last time you ate a whole tub of ice cream?
I think I've eaten the top of like that Halo top, that low calorie one.
Oh yeah,
relatively recently.
How many calories is that? Like
that's like 300.
Bargain.
Easy peasy. Excuse me, I can fucking do that. Clean that.
That's a keto bar.
I mean, easy peasy. Excuse me. But last time I ate a proper tub was when we were living. When I was in sixth form, when we were living in the house all together when Johnny was first born, and I ate 2 jumbo Dominoes and then a tub of Ben and Jerry's.
2 whole pizzas.
Yeah, and then stuffed.
Oh, is that
them.
when you did the cutting up?
No.
Oh.
That was years later. I've adjusted my techniques. This was to get rid of the pizza boxes without our mum finding out, because I would order the pizzas very late at night so that she couldn't know. I would stuff them into this bin in the back of this little patio that was rented, so it was a bin that I didn't know. And then I would pour hot water on top of the pizza boxes, and they slowly piled up. And I was like, they're going to disintegrate at some point. It's like when you put a human body in acid in one of those shows. It's going to happen. So I was
them.
I was pouring boiling water on these pizza boxes, and they were slowly building up until one day our mum found 10 completely dry, just misshapen pizza boxes, and she was like, "What's going on?" I didn't know that they were that absorbent. It's good to know for anyone out there. Better to cut them up into little pieces. So.
You ate 2 pizzas?
Yeah, because Jamie, he had one bite of his and then he got a huge bit lodged in his throat, and he had to go to hospital. He had to go to hospital because he got it trapped in his esophagus, and I just had to eat his pizza while he was at the hospital for that because he has acid reflux. So I had 2 pizzas
and Haagen-Dazs.
And it was Ben and Jerry's. It was Ben and Jerry's fudge core.
I don't know how you did that. I just don't. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That stomach capacity is remarkable.
Yeah. And I remember falling asleep on the sofa, and when I woke up, I felt like I had been drugged. Like the amount of shit that I had just eaten.
Oh.
Whoa, good times.
Yeah.
So maybe do that if you get your heart broken.
I reckon this could be a binge eating podcast.
Yeah, exactly. It could be. If you could be on Succession, but only have scenes with one character, who would it be?
Kieran Culkin, come on.
Kieran Culkin, obviously.
To be honest, I now realise why I'm so obsessed with him. It is because he is Ben.
I know, that's exactly what I was saying.
But I went through his wife's Instagram, and you can only find his wife if you really know how to find his wife. I went through his wife's Instagram, since as far back as she had Instagram. They just had another baby. They've got now a baby boy, a baby girl. I know about her birth. Why do I know so much about Kieran Culkin's wife? And then I realised it's because it's like I'm looking at Ben.
Yeah. It's how I feel whenever I see Andy Samberg as well.
Andy Samberg, I can't. I tried to do the thing on Netflix, which I wish you could. On Spotify, how you can mute a song, which I kind of regret doing because then you can't really unmute them. You can't find them to unmute to then find them back.
You can never live to listen to jazz again.
No, it's like the awful songs. But anyway, I tried to hide Brooklyn 99.
Yeah.
So I can't see Ben every time I go onto Netflix, and
they literally have the same face. It's crazy.
You can't. You can't mute a Netflix thing.
Nah, you can't. You just can't. So Kieran Culkin, because he fulfills something dark and painful.
Such a good performer. He is almost the same character in everything he does, but his character is so great.
I like that character.
I like
that character.
Yeah.
He's fantastic.
Have you watched episode 1?
We watched episode 1, yeah.
Oh my God, you can watch episode 2 today.
Is that out?
It's out today, yeah.
Oh my God.
I know, it's just so good. I don't know if I just love it so much I'm being blind to, its flaws, but I think it is brilliant. Arguably brilliant.
What is an awkward memory that pops up from time to time, making you cringe?
So many.
I
mean, I have spoken about how I vomited on the art foundation. I was at a cool art foundation, and we went abroad to, I think, Lisbon, and we had to go in a coach. I was sitting next to someone I fancied. I vomited because I was hungover. Everyone had to evacuate the bus. We had to stand on the side of the road for a long time.
That's definitely more embarrassing than anything I've ever done.
And everyone kept saying, the smell. No wonder I don't drink now.
Yeah. God, no wonder.
I had such terrible
that's clearly
experiences.
weaseled its way deep into your psyche.
The shame.
I think that, to be honest, any embarrassing memory that I have that is similar is because of alcohol too. I think that alcohol truly is a hauntingly awful thing in that sense, in the way that it can make you wish that you could peel off your own skin because you're so embarrassed. And I haven't luckily had an experience like that in a long time, but it's just almost not worth it, is it? Almost not worth it for the embarrassment.
And no one remembers anything. I mean, will remember things like that though. Another embarrassing memory, which is actually a bit more tragic, is when I was about 8 and I was accused of bullying I was in year 4 year 3. And I was on my way to swimming training and I opened the door in my swimming hat because my mum made me get into the swimming hat before we went. So I opened the door to see this girl and her mum and her baby sister. And I was like, oh, what are you doing here? Because I obviously hadn't bullied her, so I was friendly. I was in my, I was like, oh no, I'm in my swimming hat. And the mum was like, can I speak to your mother, please? Where's your mother? And I went, oh, mummy, come. And Lizzie was just standing there like, because she knew she was fucking lying. And the mum basically proceeded to say, your daughter has been bullying my daughter. Oh, and obviously mummy then was like, so worried that I'd bullied this child, which I hadn't. And I was just standing there.
She was bullying you?
Yeah, I was standing in my fucking swimming hat, looking like an idiot. My tie-dye swimming hat. I think that transformed me, that experience, actually.
That's so awful.
And now whenever I see Margot in her swimming hat, I think, oh, you're not a bully.
Somebody asked about your thoughts on the newest season of You. I haven't watched it yet.
Oh my God, you have to. You have to watch it. We'll do a podcast about You.
But what's like it was a headline?
It's implausible. It's stupid. It's like fucking stupid.
I saw the funniest video on TikTok of the lead actress in it. What's her name again?
Victoria Pedretti.
I mean, I didn't realise that a person could be that pretentious. I didn't realise that a person could be that pretentious.
Oh my God, I have to see.
Oh my God, I have to see now.
She's your age. She's your age.
It makes me feel sick.
Doesn't that make you feel sick?
It makes me feel sick. Oh, that's my phone. That's my phone. Oh gosh. Oh, got my life together. Another question was, are you sad about the fact that Maura from Love Island has broken up with her Strictly Come Dancing boyfriend Giovanni?
I only know this because I've only just got into Strictly Come Dancing. I wasn't into that episode of Love Island. He's so lovely, and he's dancing with Rose, who's the actress from EastEnders who's deaf, and so they're having to learn everything through numbers.
That's amazing.
So they're so good.
Wow.
Yeah, and so he's lovely. Maybe he's fallen in love with Rose.
Maybe. Or maybe apparently it's because he doesn't want to settle down.
Well, who would? If you've got that body and you're a dancer.
Exactly. You got Strictly.
Dance the night away.
You've got the world at your feet.
You have to get into Strictly.
I know. The thing is, it's like the same with Great British Bake Off and Strictly. I feel the same way, where it's like, unless you remembered when it was starting and stuff like that, and then you realise it started after a few episodes have already been out, it's like you're behind, you're lagging behind somehow. But I think I might try and actually watch a couple of episodes of Strictly this season, because you make it sound amazing.
You have to. And also Tilly Ramsey, Gordon Ramsay's daughter, and Alfie does the funniest impression of Tilly. Of Gordon saying, Tilly! I can't do it, it's really funny. Anyway, she got called fat.
I know, by Steve Allen from LBC.
I know. Yeah, she got called fat. And then she did the most beautiful dance. And she got basically all 10s, which no one has done. And then she got through first. And it was just so embarrassing, because I know that might have been chance. But I think it was basically the BB saying, sorry, we called her fat. Let's just be extra nice to her.
It was like on Love Island when the producers clearly said something to Faye about after the fight with Teddy. Do you know what I mean? Like, they know when the public is annoyed, and then
that's still right at the top of your memory, isn't it?
It's right up here.
Are they together still?
Everyone's still together.
Not?
Everyone's still together. Everyone, I know. Kaz and Tyler, amazing Instagram couple, so strong. Millie and Liam still together, very basic and boring, as to be expected.
Yeah, they've just moved in together. I saw that one.
They've just moved in together?
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. That's cool. Faye and Teddy still together. Who knew? Who else was there? Chloe and Toby, they're the best. They do really funny Instagrams together. They even do TikToks together.
Do they?
They're my favourite.
What kind of TikTok?
Chloe's become an ambassador for JD Sports or Adidas.
An ambassador.
Yeah. So she does all these sporty photos, but she's so dumb. She has no idea how to be an influencer. So her posts come across as surprisingly refreshing, because she'll be standing in like a cringy position wearing, like, she obviously looks amazing, she obviously really really works out and like looks after her body, but she does like the most basic caption, like, hey everyone, I'm nice to see you, like, she's just it's so nice because she hasn't like been corrupted.
Yeah. Oh, that's so nice.
It's so nice. It is so nice.
Okay, well, no, we should definitely do some dissecting of You, because it is really interesting.
Oh my god, I would love to.
Yeah.
Is it good enough to actually sit through the whole season?
Yeah. Well, well, when I was in Serbia, I watched 7 episodes basically back to back.
Nice.
It was a great time. It's really just good shit. And also, I think Penn Badgley,
I love him.
he just seems very intelligent.
Yeah.
And he's now a producer on it.
And he's married to Domino Kirk.
I know. Who's a doula.
Doula, my
She's
god.
a doula. Yeah, I think the fact that he's so involved, it has made it good. And now that he's a father,
Yeah.
there's an added element of, there's
Warmth there.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem too obsessed with the spotlight. I mean, even though he was in Gossip Girl as well, so like he couldn't be more famous really, but he seems like really nice. He seems like a down-to-earth person.
Why have they remade Gossip Girl?
I know.
This infuriates me so much.
Why can't they just make new shows?
And you know what? My first show that I had in development was called Bump.
Yeah.
It was about a girl trying to have a baby via sperm donation. Guess what's on the BBC homepage right now?
What?
A show called Bump.
No.
About a girl, a young woman who has a baby.
That's so unfair.
I know. Obviously, it's a slightly different story, but it just makes me feel sick.
I'm sorry, Jessie. That's
That's fine.
such a shitty thing.
No, there'll be something called Sunset next, won't there?
Well, I mean, now that we're on Patreon, I can say this job that I've been auditioning for the
No.
last 6 weeks. No, nothing bad has happened. But I'm just saying how funny, given that our Patreon viewers especially know that I recently almost had a job, was told I had a job, and then they were filming outside my building. The same thing has happened again recently, not with the bad part yet, as in like I've been auditioning for something 6 weeks, had all these chemistry reads, have been told that I'm the only person for the role. If it happens to me twice in a row, like I think I might like shave my head like Britney. I think I might shave my head like Britney. It's very damaged anyway. Probably be good for it. So
I think you can start some kind of petition.
I'll be like, casting directors all need to be castrated.
No, I think it should be something like honesty within the industry, some form of petition to make it not okay to have people's lives put on hold
And
for
misled.
weeks and weeks and weeks, to be used as a guinea pig for other actors as a springboard, which is basically what you've been doing.
Yeah,
because you're
yeah.
so good. You've been brought in because you're good for other actors to bounce off. You might have the part, but if you don't get it, I do think we should start a petition.
Oh, we're going to start a petition, and all of you are too. You're all going to be involved.
We're
We're
going to
gonna
sign
be
our
Team
petition.
Bebe.
Get Bebe
We're going to have a big old protest.
And also, we're also going to do a response episode
To the Patreon
Patreon comments about
About
who
who
was
won the
right
fight.
in the fight, because you were all on my side, which I just think is lovely.
It's fucking believable. Unfucking believable.
You all were very supportive of me, and I'm grateful. And you are right in your opinion. There were a couple that were on BB's side, but
It just shows that you clearly, you're simpletons. You can't understand the context, the real depth of context that was present in that fight. It was
my favorite
not
comment
my fault.
was actually probably the most astute, which was from episode 1, the foundation of the podcast. We set up, like they say in relationships,
Yeah.
how you are in the first few months is how you are going to be for the rest of your relationship. And it's almost what happened with our podcast, because we set it up. I was kind of higher status than you. You asked questions because you were nervous, and that was your very clever tactic of, content. And so from that moment on, you've been the one to ask questions and I've been the one to talk. You go on like intelligent little rambles, and then I say something stupid. That's what we do. And somebody said, it's just that it wasn't that Jessie doesn't ask you questions. It's just that's not the way you've set up the podcast.
Sure.
Which I stand by, because I do want to hear about her fucking holiday. Or, something she did. I do want to hear about that, but, it's like, it's not something that I
that
jump
was an
to.
astute comment. Yeah, I think the dynamic definitely and we're also very strong personalities, and we're always going to be that way,
But also you're much more, you can see BB's emotion on her face. Like on that day, I remember thinking, I know she has suddenly gone. You just lost it. You were annoyed, and it was over.
I know, but then I tried to bring it back because I thought to myself, no, we've done this much, and like Jessie's come all the way here, we've come all the way here, whatever. I remember thinking to myself, like, I do feel slightly like thrown, but I've got to do it. But then you set sail.
I was like, bye-bye.
You were already floating away
Bye.
to sea. But
also,
funny.
it goes to show you a few weeks on, how many weeks on now, you have done more gigs or whatever, and that's what you were annoyed about, was the fact that I was bringing it up kind of abruptly.
Yeah.
But now that you're in a more secure place and you're feeling more confident in yourself, you would respond totally different to that question now.
Sure. It's because I was embarrassed to talk about it without it sort of, not that it deserves importance as a topic, but like just with delicacy, because it's something I was still feeling very embarrassed about. I just didn't, like, I just wasn't ready to talk about it so suddenly like that without thinking about it first and stuff like that, which I get is a very silly
I
thing.
really want to just clip it up and see when you say that. So I went on holiday and just see my face, like
literally Jessie's brain switch off into airplane mode. Like, I'm not dealing with this. I'm not. Like, no,
it's just, you know, it's not that I don't care about a holiday. It's just that I was just thinking, what should we be talking? I'm constantly worried doing a podcast. It's not a relaxing experience for me.
Nor me.
No, but I want it to be.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be relaxed doing it. But every single time, I constantly feel like, you're about to bitch about Adele, aren't you? Stop bitching about Adele. Stop saying that stuff about Adele. Why do you say that stuff about Adele?
I know. It's honestly, it is so panic-inducing. It really does raise one's blood pressure.
Every single time. It's like, no, I said something.
I know. We had to fucking, with our tail between our legs, Gunther should say, you need to edit this bit.
Sorry, I bitched about Adele again. Anyway,
we'll
talk about that in a proper way.
And
we'll talk about BB's new jeans.
Oh, fuck you. Okay, just because I'm not a millennial who's obsessed with skinny jeans, this is not even a flare, it's a straight cut jean.
No,
okay,
it's
doesn't. I already feel bad about it. Okay, I already feel insecure, but you know, I think that they work. They're nice and high waisted.
Yeah, they're high waisted.
I'm sure now I've looked down. This has probably been such an unflattering angle the whole time. I just looked down now and I thought, oh, that was the wrong way to be sitting.
Did I give you that t-shirt, or have you just taken it? And
No,
also,
you
I
gave
know
it to
the
me.
last time you babysit, you went up and searched through my clothes, and then left them by the door waiting to take them later, but you forgot to take them, didn't you?
That's because they're my clothes that you
But
took.
you got me that dress for my birthday. The Daisy dress.
Yes, I got you the Daisy dress because I was just going to borrow that. The black dress was mine.
I know, to be fair, that was yours, yeah.
That was my bad. I was going to steal the clothes covertly and I accidentally left them by your door
Yeah.
and forgot to bring them. So that was my bad.
She's a sneaky bitch.
Yeah.
Is the moral of the story.
I'm hungry, bitch, too.
Okay. See you soon.
See you soon, Patreon.
See-
Oh, I'm going to be doing a cake video soon for Donnie and Ten's birthday cake.
Big,
So,
big cakes.
3 cakes. It's going to be a bamboozly big
And Halloween
bonanza.
snacks.
Halloween snacks.
Buying some light cheese.
Yeah. Gross.
Stuffing the light cheese with blueberries.
Okay. We're
Okay,
done.
okay,
We're done now.
okay,
Bye.
okay.
Going crazy now. She's going crazy. Watch her now. Watch her.